Hello everyone, nubkeks here. Welcome back to Nub Raids, and in today's video, I want to talk to you about a secret build, a secret weapon build I think is actually very, very strong, and a lot of you might have access to it. And it's actually quite surprisingly strong, can win you some surprise fights. I guess I'm sort of going to tell you about it now, so a bunch of people will sort of know about it. It is somewhat obvious, but I've seen very few people actually do it. But of course, we have the Christmas fusion, Lady Noelle, and as we know, she gets a lot better if Sir Nicholas is on the same team. Well, Sir Nicholas, great champion with Unkillable, bad damage, but what if we could make that unkillable debuff protected? And that's, ladies and gentlemen, what we are going to do. This is the secret build. It's a simple concept, 9-piece protection set for Sir Nicholas. Plain, simple, and extremely effective. Why is it so effective? Well, number one, Sir Nicholas, I even have him unbooked, and he's been performing really well for me. But very simply, he puts out 2 turns of unkillable, and also the continuous heal, which is quite nice. But the key thing here is unkillable. And when he is paired up with Lady Noelle, the AI is now fixed, and she will prioritize casting her A2 on Sir Nicholas, which activates his unkillable skill. And simply enough, with a 9-piece protection set, we have a 75% chance that the unkillable buff is protected. Some champions can kill you through unkillable. Let's say a Rotus is a good example, but most champions in the game cannot. And if your unkillable is protected, there's nothing that they can do. And with Lady Noelle having a 3-turn cooldown on what is effectively a 2-turn unkillable, it becomes very annoying to deal with. On top of that, Sir Nicholas, kind of infamous for having fairly bad damage, we're going to pair them up with a secondary damage. He's sort of going to be a backup damage dealer, a supplement, but he's more about the utility. And this is where it's really good, because if we run him with a second damage dealer, well, this 9-piece protection set has the added benefit of 5% more damage for each buff placed by the wearer, and he is placing at least 2. He can also place a shield, so that's 3. And then, depending on how, he can actually stack multiple continuous heals as well. Like, he might actually get as many as 4 buffs semi-reliably out of Sir Nicholas, which can be a 20%, wrong button, a 20% damage boost, not only to your second damage dealer, but also to him, which I think sort of makes up for not having Savage or Lethal or whatever. He's certainly not going to kill any tanky champions, but he can smack through their squishy champions. And yeah, especially squishy champions who aren't really building defense anyway. He can more than capably kill them. And yeah, why not? He's getting a decent damage boost from protection, and your other damage dealer can really benefit. It's quite a sneaky little combo. So there we go. Obviously, I'm actually going to book him. I've been impressed enough with this that I'm going to book him. Let's take him into Arena. Let's go for a spin. So the team that I've been putting with them is, let's refresh, and we'll just go and see how we do against every single fight on this page. Why the hell not? Where is it? This is, okay. So this is sort of the idea of the showcase team. So we've got her speed aura, making that as strong as possible. We're putting in clearly one of the best legendaries in the game for Arena, bar none, Armans. What is interesting, you might be saying, nub. It's Armans is winning this. Sir Nicholas is doing literally nothing. And that's not quite true, actually. I actually was running a team like this, but with Ultimate Death Knight, who's also extremely good. I actually found by putting Sir Nicholas in, team just performed better. I actually was surprised. I was very surprised. I used it as a defense in Gold 4 of Tag Team Arena, and it seemed to do fairly well. I think it's catching people by surprise. They don't expect protection. But obviously, yeah, it's a sort of simple idea. We've got the speed aura from Lady Noelle. And this is where things become sort of double nasty, is speed aura from her very strong one, which is great, although Armans has a good one as well. She is pumping out freezes, and really good thing with Sir Nick, these cannot be blocked, right? So this goes through block debuffs. It becomes very frustrating to deal with this. It's very easy for her to freeze you. You've got Armand stealing your turn meter and stunning you, potentially polymorphing people. It's quite frustrating, and then you've got to find the gaps to hit through. Let's just do some fights to hit through that protection unkillable. The 4th spot needs to be a damage dealer, and I think you want a damage dealer that can either a HP damage dealer or someone who can self-buff. Well, this team, you can see we're just sort of outspeeding it. I have the AI preset. Here we go. We can see we got protected unkillable on 2 different champions. It is obviously random. One fun thing, I don't know, is Lightning Cage always protected? I've never really paid attention, but certainly his Lightning Cage is protected as well. Um, but yeah, you can sort of oh, we've got Unkillable over here as well. You can sort of bounce through the champions. Yeah, it's kind of cool. I'm using He-Man. You could use anyone. I just saw I put in He-Man as a recent champion as well. And we can see how often we are running through these unkillable buffs and cycling through all of our crowd control as well. He-Man self-buffs increase attack. Also, the more buffs He-Man gets, he gets bonus HP, bonus attack, and his A3 hits harder. So triggering all these extra buffs from Sir Nicholas, thanks to Lady Noelle's A2, actually is pretty decent at buffing up He-Man. That's a fairly weak team. Let's fight something. Here we go. Something a bit more intimidating. Yeah, it's kind of cool. One thing we do lack at this team is block debuffs. I've also been trying using, I've got Lazarius as an interesting option here. Frolny is a good option here. Free-to-play option, albeit a bit more late game, would be Arix. Arix would be quite a strong option. Yeah, Staltus Dragonbane could be a good option. I think the best options, let me actually talk about this, and like you can see sort of the team smashing through. It's sort of, these poor teams aren't even getting a chance here to cut in. It's kind of disgusting. Yeah, it's quite an interesting combo. And I think certainly in Live Arena, nobody is ever going to ban Sir Nicholas, right? It's just not going to happen. So that can be quite a spicy twist to throw into a fight. Quite spicy. This is where you could do, I think, a couple of interesting builds. If you are intending to do that for Live Arena, it's definitely a weird one. I'd probably be drafting, like you would probably have these three as your support champions, and then have 2 damage dealers. Would probably be what you would. It's probably what you would do if you only had Sir Nick and, let's say, Sir Nick and He-Man as your damage dealers. There's something of a risk that they could just ban your other damage, and Sir Nicholas simply couldn't kill the enemy. That's definitely a risk. Speaking of trying to kill the enemy, we're struggling a bit here. There we go. He-Man locks it down. I think this concept of protection, Sir Nick, has a ton of potential for Siege as well. Falmond, Mornsword, comes in. What does Falmond do? So with this faction, I think one difficulty that you face is you've got the speed aura from Lady Noelle, but who goes first? We don't have a champion like you could use a Warlord, a Yumiko, whatever. Armands, in this case, what I was using, you could potentially use a Mikage, somebody that's going to go first, take advantage of the speed aura, and be a speed threat to lock out the enemy team or CC the enemy team. You don't really have that much at all in this faction. You've got Hansel, but you're probably not running a super fast Hansel. It's not really his style. They're definitely lacking in that regard. I think Falmond fixes that problem very well with a full Sacred Order team. He lets you go second. Why? Well, because he makes everyone immune to cooldown increasing effects. So you can let the enemy go first, and you can really survive very well. You might have to tweak the Lady Noelle build, and I'll talk about that in a second, but it's pretty cool. He's also going to be providing Revive on Death, filling Turn Meter whenever allies place buffs or debuffs. Lady Noelle is placing many buffs and debuffs. We're getting tons of buffs from Sir Nicholas. There's a beautiful synergy there. He can stack up damage, and he can easily be your damage carry that will benefit very much from all the nice protection set 5% damage boosts that Sir Nicholas can give him, where he can strip buffs from a target, really smack them, and yeah, then doing surplus damage, just kind of absolute destruction incarnate. It's a pretty spicy one to put in there, and you could use his aura if you needed to. For faction crypts and just sort of give up on the speed. It's possible. So Falmond, I think, is a very strong potential one to put with them. Obviously, within the same faction, though, Siegfried is a big problem. This is where Siegfried can't hit through Unkillable. So this could actually be quite an interesting way to deal with it. And it's quite difficult for this faction even to strip your Unkillable buffs when you're getting it up so often. Venus can strip buffs issues with Cupidus, but that's very much limiting their team. And Archbishop Pinthroy can try to steal buffs. He could put block buffs. Could be a problem. But yeah, Lysaea comes in as a budget option where her skills can't be put on cooldown, and she does bring block debuffs for your team. More freezes as well, which can steal buffs from enemies under freeze. She could be quite a fun combo, I think, to run with Lady Noelle if you don't have Siegfried if you don't have Falmont. They're two of the hardest champs in the game to get. Glacea could be a cool combo. Maud, potential. She has buff strip. Actually, that's where you get a good buff strip. Maud would be good to put with this team. She brings unique buffs as well, and increased defense and increased attack. I guess you can only do one of each. But yeah, she's potential. Cleansing with her passive. Very strong. Healing up. You've got some spicy stuff. Alice is in there too. I will say Alice would be okay with this team, but Alice cannot buff increase attack on herself. So that's going to be a weakness, right? That will hold her back a bit in terms of the damage that she could do compared to, let's say, Supreme. Supreme Ethel could actually be not too shabby. Self buffs, also has AoE freeze, which is cool. And yeah, I think, the freezes from her synergizes quite well with Lady Noelle, who's lowering the speed of enemies under freeze. There's potential there. I do think there's a lot of potential. Let's do a couple of harder fights so you can see it again. Actually, before we do the harder fights and you can see it again, let me mention one thing you might want to change. Let's say you're running a Sacred Order team. Not going to matter in Siege where they have to fight you with Sacred Order. You are vulnerable to lockout and bombs with this team. In this case, if we go first with Armans, we might be okay. But let's say they're under Stone Skin. Armans can't do anything. If we get locked out, we can't start using our super short cooldown protected unkillable. One potential build you could do instead, this is my build on Lady Noelle, which is very tanky and fast and high accuracy. Seeing as we don't need any accuracy when she is with Sir Nicholas, oh, by the way, she has the Molten Death Bell. One thing that you could do is you could forget about the accuracy and crank her resistance higher. Now, you might want to go very high. I think for endgame, probably looking at 800 or something. Like, you really do need a lot of resistance, and the more you get, the better. That could be a viable build. High resistance. Why is that good? If an enemy tries to bomb you, they won't be able to kill her because she'll resist the bombs, hopefully. Unless they've got increased accuracy, then you could be in trouble. And then she could come in and give everyone unkillable. And unkillable is a good way to stop bombs. They can't kill you if you're unkillable. Could be a really cool counter to bombs. I would still suggest probably 6-piece Stone Skin and just try to get as much resistance as possible and still have her be one of the fastest champs on your team so that she can get that unkillable up and protect you. That's definitely an option. And again, that could be an option as well if you're worried about lockout. Protect her from lockout. And it's pretty powerful. She is going to be protecting people with unkillable. If she can't be locked out and she puts unkillable off, yeah, great. And then she can come in and AoE freeze and they can't stop it. And maybe she can survive then through her third turn because of the freeze and quickly enough rotate back to unkillable again. There's a lot of potential for spicy plays, I think, with this. We could try against this. This would be dangerous. They have lockout. Let's try it. Let's see. This might go very badly because I don't have her in high resistance build. I've got my Ancora in that sort of build, which is my best resistance Stone Skin. So yeah, like this one is going to be quite rough because we can't do... Oh, let's interrupt. Let's get rid of him instead just to see. And this is where it becomes, I think, quite nice. So Odin will be able to kill him. Never mind, Odin got one shot because we've got He-Man. He-Man. That's actually pretty poggers. Oh, great. We're going to freeze. She did get polymorphed. That's okay. I think Arman's one of his weaknesses is he's going to be vulnerable to polymorph as well. That's actually, yeah. DCing her is actually kind of bad. We don't want to do that. Look at that. He really... Poor Altaris, he's just dying to kill us with his A2. And the poor man cannot catch a break. He is stunned. He is frozen. Oh, he's resisted. He will break free. She's dead. Okay. And here we go. She's coming back in with an A1. That's not ideal. Are we going to die now? Maybe. We've resisted some of this. We've killed him with a counterattack. Good job, you. That's very nice. We're locked out now at this point. We are going to muddle our way through this fight. This was a little bit messy, for sure. But yeah, we managed to do it because we outsped. On defense, we would have failed. On defense, we would have tried to polymorph Odin. He had pinpoint, it didn't work, and we would have got locked out. It only worked because I played on manual. That's something to watch out for sure. Let's try against this team. This team is going to go very fast, try to strip our buffs. We should... Okay, we're faster. Well, this is not going to be very interesting to watch. It's going to be a very quick win. Let's just go straight. Can Keyman just one-shot them? Again, I mean, look at that. Like, Sir Nicholas, this is obviously not a very strong team compared to my gear level here. But Sir Nicholas, if he was booked, he might have killed her, and he would have killed the Trunda, which is something. He wouldn't have killed the Sifi, and it's not like a crazy geared Sifi or whatever. Like, yeah. So okay, we want to make sure he doesn't poly. Let's just get to the next fight quickly. Arman's gonna poly everything. Uh, but yeah, not too bad. Right, this is a bit of a scarier team with the Nice, although he's not too ascended. I'm curious how this is going to work against the Mithrala. A cool thing is, we can still freeze Mithrala, even if she has like 1,000 resistance. There we go, resisted there. Polly, so she will cleanse people off, unless she gets killed before she gets a turn. Bit of a smack. Okay, no, yeah, He-Man actually just killed her. It's quite a cool team. We're very close, like I said, we're very close to a full Sacred Order team. There's the freeze. It's irresistible. 100% of the time it works. I'm digging it. I really do think protection Sir Nicholas is kind of legit. Like right now, he's still frozen. Not really too much of a threat. Her A1 is pretty nice as well. But like even if we got nuked by Nice, which would normally be absolutely terrifying, he'd only be able to kill Armans. We have unkillable on everybody else. He can beat them up, but he can't actually kill them. We'll see if we can find, like, I'll do a couple of refreshes. We'll see if we can find a really tough fight. Here, we're in Platinum now, so it should be a good bit tougher. What would be very tough? I mean, we could sort of see it against bombs. I think we probably just die. This one would be very tough, but I do think this team gets wrecked by Lockout. This is actually a good one. This might be a perfect showcase. Where normally you would think, okay, we try to kill them, we get buff stripped by Odin, and we just die. This is where that protection set, that 9-piece protection, can be huge. Because if we get protected unkillable, they can crowd control us, but they can't kill us. Okay, so we've stripped this stuff. Arman's is berserked. He's going to be doing massive damage. So now, I mean, they can be trying to smack me, but they can't kill me. I guess they're not going to strip the buffs anyway because he's dead. Okay, he's going to have a go. He's going to have a go. Oh, no, he's dead. Never mind. Oh, no, they're coming back. It's still not over. They're still going to have a... Okay, maybe they're not going to have a go. I do think this team is very strong. If you're looking for people to put with your Armans, like I said, I think you replace Armans. Potentially Mikage could be a decent later game free option. I think a lockout champ. I think Crixia would be incredibly strong here, incredibly strong, probably the best other option. Like here we get smacked. He didn't smack us that hard, but yeah, if he did smack us hard enough, that unkillable, I mean, he can't kill us. He can't kill us. He can't block revive, which is one of the nasty things he normally does. And Odin falls to him. This is a scarier team. Let's see if this works. They've got multiple buff strips. This could potentially be scary. Let's find out. This is about as scary as it gets here. Yeah, let's leave it on full auto. Let's see what happens full auto. We're getting absolutely clobbered. That's where that resistance would have been nice. We're dead now. We're super dead. Can He-Man pull it through? I didn't take it off auto fast enough. I think we would have been screwed anyway. We fell. That's where I do think that resistance build on Noelle could be kind of good. Doubly so. I think if you are dedicated to this team, we don't need those defensive stats. Like, the defensive stats she's got aren't going to help us. But if we had resistance, now we're talking. I mean, yeah, once they get increased accuracy from Marius, they're probably hitting through anyway. But it gives you a potential way to resist. I'm not sure if Odin went first or Marius. I wasn't paying it. I think Odin went first. And it's very possible to resist Odin. I think 800 resistance, it's unlikely he can punch through. And there you go. We resist Odin. We get unkillable up on everyone. And if it's protected, Marius can't even strip it. They can't kill us, and we can come back into the fight. Yeah. I mean, let's give it a shot. For you guys, let's give it a shot. Let me try. So, do I have... I might not quite work. Let's try. It's not the best resistance gear in the world. Let's save it as a global. For the video, will it work or will we still die? If the Marius is faster, we are definitely going to still die. Let me just save this as a champion preset. Cool. And let me come over. Let me rob all this gear. Things we do for the video. Oh dear. Yeah. She's not built. I've not given her resistance stats. It's actually probably not going to work. Let me double check. Let's scrub priority resistance. Do I even have stone skin gear for her? Oh dear. Oh, I don't have a resistance banner. Okay. Well, 500. I don't think 500 resist is going to cut it, guys. Sorry, my bad. Yeah, if we had a resistance banner, we could do it. But I don't have one. That's a problem. Wait, could we... We could maybe do stone skin ring. Hang on. I might have a resist banner. Hang on, hang on. Resist banner? Yes? Okay, we've got a resist banner. 600. It's a little short. Oh my god, 1,000,000? Are you gonna give me a free gear option? No? Sure, whatever. For you guys, 1,000,000 silver for the video. Watch this fail horribly. Watch it fail horribly. So now Noelle is a bit bad. This is where we might want to switch her into a resistance. I'm not sure if that's going to be enough, my dudes. Let's find out. Fine, we're gonna die together. Like I said, 800 resist would be what I would aim for. And if you're doing it more seriously, okay, so we're still gonna do that. That's fine. We could try to play it a bit better. Okay. Nah, she still got removed. It's not enough. 1,000,000 silver wasted, my dudes. 1,000,000 silver wasted. Not enough resist. Yeah, you would want to be switching her. These are her blessings by her masteries. You'd want to be grabbing unshakable and whatnot. We clearly cannot build enough resist. That is tragic. We'll hang our heads in shame and put her normal gear back on. Oh my god, it's another 900, 2.5 million gear silver down the drain to achieve nothing. You hate to see it, my dudes. I'm a bit better on Cora. She's like 750, which is a bit better. It's not quite enough still, but it's the best I can do. For some reason, I've not got the best resistance gear. So that's a bit of a flop. But you could see, in theory, if we had 800 resist, we would resist, go in, cleanse off Sir Nicholas, people get unkillable, they can't die. Let's see, can we do one more interesting fight for the end? Here's an interesting fight. Limiting, this is crazy. I've no idea if it's going to work or not. Let's find out. He can strip our buffs. The CC is definitely going to be a threat. I mean, let's find out. Let's see what happens. I don't expect to win it, but it's just more to see what the team can do. But yeah, it's a very interesting one. Like, these are champions that you may well have earned over Christmas, and they might help you. They might not, but yeah, they might. Let's see. Who knows? So here, again, great. We get our unkillable up. It's actually protected on almost everyone, which is really nice. We do a smidgen of damage. We one-shot her with He-Man. Oh, here we go. This is a big, scary smack. Oh my god, look at us on 1 HP, but it doesn't matter because we're unkillable for 2 turns. Get wrecked. Now you're frozen. Even Galathier is frozen. Good, steal the turn meter. Yes. Polymorph him. I did not want that to happen. That's not good. He's dead, but we can potentially revive him. We're still unkillable. We still have a chance. Trying to polymorph him. That's okay. We're still unkillable. We still have a chance. He's killable, but everyone else is unkillable. Gonna try steal their turn meter again. Let's just leave it on auto. Here we go in. We're getting more heals, which will help heal up. And again, we've got protected unkillable. He can probably crowd control us. Yeah, block active skills, but we ain't dying. Not for a while yet. You're gonna have to do... Oh, actually, her debuff came off. Oh, this is great. All right, freezes everybody. That's insane. She gets polymorph, but her passive helps against polymorph. Now we're in trouble because she's been polyed. Oh no, we're gonna die now. This is the end, my dudes, because he's been locked. Everyone is locked out. She's gonna pop back from poly, and we're gonna get absolutely destroyed. Okay, she's popped back. She's still alive. I mean, we've survived. We're dead now. That was funny, though. That was funny. We've demoted, but that was a fun fight. That was a fun fight. I mean, I think if we played on manual with Armans, we actually might have won that, which is cool, because Limiting, he's one of the strongest players in our clan, and he's got a beast of a team. So, yeah, needless to say, I think that this combo, it's actually quite cool. Protected, unkillable, lots of healing, bit of anti-polymorph, which works well with Armans. And yeah, I think you slap in a good damage dealer, and yeah, I mean, you've got options for which damage dealer to use. Let's manual the final fight. Let's actually get a win. We've had a few losses, but I think there's actually a lot of potential for Sir Nicholas in Arena. He's a bad champion, really, sort of objectively speaking, but I don't know, when you give him that protection set, bam, and you put him with Lady Noelle, it suddenly becomes not too terrible in a weird sort of way. Bonk, let's hit her. I probably should have buffed up. That's fine. We're going to respawn them all in. Like I said, for me, I've been running Fralny instead of He-Man. But yeah, I mean, there you go. It's cool. It's cool. And I think it would work really well with Lockout as well, where they can still threaten you with A1s, but with Lockout, I mean, let's buff up because we can. And I don't know. Here we go. He might revive with a passive, actually. Nah, we're good. Here we go. Yeah, you get the gist, basically. Bonk, and they're dead. Fantastic. Back to platinum. Sir Nicholas, cool build. Oh, and I didn't mention, but I did give him Lightning Cage, which I think is quite good. He can easily get one shot at the start of the fight, but it's not really that big of a deal. I don't think people really want to kill Sir Nicholas because again, he's just not that strong. It's not a huge deal. But I've given him Lightning Cage. Just again, it's an extra buff. It's going to give him. I think it works with protection set. Probably he should get 5% more damage, and again, that can protect his unkillable, which can be kind of nice. I figure so. Yeah, there you are. So Nick, I've not finished his masteries, but it's going to be something like this. I will give him Deterrence. I think would be nice with Polymorph. Would be quite good. Lady Noelle is like this, though. Again, we talked about potential of going resistance build instead. I had her built to use without Sir Nicholas. Maybe I reevaluate that now, honestly. But yeah, I think this legit might be a good defense. Guys, hopefully you found it interesting theory crafting video, and I will see you all next time. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.